Well, Year 8, welcome to online learning, and what I've got here is a video to help us through the work for this week. Is just exercise 513, and so what I'll tell you to do for each bit to write out is firstly the heading and the date of the work when you do the work. And so the first bit of the textbook just basically gives us a bit of an idea of scale for volume and capacity, especially capacity. Just remember, volume deals with things like centimetres square cubed, metres cubed, while capacity deals with litres, millilitres and kilolitres, things like that. Our large drop of water, about 1 millilitre. Teaspoon, 5 millilitres. A teaspoon is usually what you use to put your sugar in your coffee. Carton of milk, standard carton of milk in a cardboard container, 1 litre. Rainwater tank, which is quite large, is 1 kilolitre. Regular can of drink, 375 millilitres, and a can of paint, regular can of paint. They're different in size, but this one's 4 litres. Okay, so this chart here appears in your textbook, but we'll walk you through it. But just to get an idea of how to spell each of these words, so litre, this lowercase m with uppercase L is millilitre, that's this one over here. 1,000 of those go into a litre. A kilolitre, just like kilometre, kilolitre is 1,000 litres. And a megalitre, spelled that way, uppercase M and L, don't confuse it with the millilitres. Megalitre is 1 million litres. This part here you'll need to write out, not the summary. And one of the questions to deal with in this part is converting. Just remember that when you're converting from a larger unit to a smaller one, you multiply. Large unit to a smaller one, we multiply. So here, this is the opposite. Smaller unit to a larger one, so we have to divide. So what you do is 3400 and millilitres to litres, divide by 1,000. That'll give you how many litres, and that equals 3.4 litres. Down the bottom here we've got the connection. This is pretty important, this bit. Cubic centimetre contains 1 millilitre, and so this in the textbook is actually to scale, and so 1 cubic centimetre, 1 millilitre, so 1,000 cubic centimetres would be 1 litre. Cubic metre contains 1,000 litres, and I thought this would give you a good idea of actually how big a cubic metre is. And that, as it says, it contains 1,000 litres. So if you're pouring water into this container here, it will have 1,000 litres. Back to here. So now we're going to converting from a volume unit to a capacity unit. So what do I do? 2.9, and since we're going to litres, that's what times 1,000? Cubic 1,000 litres in 1 cubic metre, so 2.9 times 1,000. 2,900 litres. Just be careful of those ones where you've got a volume unit and a capacity unit in the same question. Okay, next one. Another skill in this section is to convert the volume of a container to its capacity. So you'd have to show the working. And for this one, a rectangular prism, 26 times 5 times 12 will give us the volume. Now let me just see if I can find that calculator. Here we are. 26 times 5 times 12. Oops. 5. 1560. And that's in centimetres cubed. So that's our volume. So you need to do that before you can get the litres. And remember I said 1,000 cubic centimetres in 1 litre. So you divide that by 1,000. .56 litres. So that's how you do that one. Okay, so the questions. Please write out, for question 2, write out the whole of the question, including the blank missing number. Okay, always remember smaller unit to larger, divide. Larger unit to smaller, multiply. Large unit, no, that's a smaller unit to a larger one, because megalitres is larger than kilolitres. And then the questions which have a mixture of volume and capacity, so you need to change that to millilitres, first by going there's 1,000 times 1,000 to get litres. And so that's litres, 1.2 times 1,000, and then times another 1,000 to get millilitres. Same here, cubic millimetres. And so you need to get to millilitres, so what we do for that one is you have to change that to cubic centimetres first, because cubic centimetres and millilitres are connected. So smaller unit to larger, divide by 1,000, and that will give you, sorry, that's 100 because there's 10 millimetres in a centimetre. 10 times 10 times, oh, it is 1,000. Yes, divide by 1,000. So you get to the cubic centimetres and you'll find out what it is in millilitres. Okay. Next one. As before, find the volume first. Remember to show your working. And then you can find, once you've found the volume, you can then work out how many litres from the cubic centimetres. Remember, 1,000 cubic centimetres in a litre. And this one here, you need to find the volume again. And this being a compound shape, all you do is divide it into simple shapes. There's three rectangular prisms there. So you work out the volume of each particular part, add it together. So what I do, I would split it across the top here. In that case, you probably only need 2. So the volume of this part, the smaller rectangular prism, the volume of the larger box, and then once you've found the volume, add them together, and then you can convert the cubic metres to litres, remembering there's 1,000 litres in 1 cubic metre. Thank you. So questions 2, 8 and 12.